Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mannie Motsoela here, and I'm back with another video for you guys. Okay, I'm still looking rough. I'm still looking raw. We're gonna get through this, okay? Today I'm gonna be talking about influences and originality, okay? There's not gonna be any direction. This is just a rant, okay? So if you don't want to hear me talking about absolutely nothing, you can, click off this video and do something else. Okay. Now, I don't mean that in a mean way. I just don't want to waste your time. You could be doing anything else, but you're here with me, listening to me rant. I appreciate that. So I don't want to waste your time. If you don't want to hear me rant, click off the video and catch me on the next one if you feel like it. Today I'm going to be talking about influences and originality, okay? My two biggest influences are the Beatles and Chaos. My recent influences are Radiohead and Depeche Mode, okay? What's similar about these bands or artists is that they all are very experimental. And I don't sound like them. I haven't copied their sound. What I take from them or what I copy is the fact that they experiment a lot, with music. Okay? So let's see here now. Let's see. Yeah, okay. The Beatles, especially Sir Paul McCartney, I know he liked Little Richard. And I know he wanted to sound like Little Richard. And I know John Lennon liked Chuck Berry. And when they got together, John Lennon especially, he expressed in one interview that he wants to make like rock that sounds like the rock of the 50s. And he, how can I say this? The Beatles didn't do that. They didn't copy their influences. They ended up reinventing rock and roll in their own way. And they didn't sound like their icons that they followed. Okay, so yeah, now Chaos, he's a Canadian rapper. He's more than just a rapper, he's everything, okay? He does everything, okay? Chaos changed the way that I listen to music. The first time I got into his music, I didn't like it. I was like, what is this? What is this? This isn't hip hop. I expected to hear boom bap and spitting bars. That's not what Chaos did. He borrowed from so many genres. I didn't know what I was listening to, man. Then one day I was cleaning the kitchen and I was listening to the music Joyful Rebellion. That's one of his albums, and I was like, yo, this is genius actually. Because it's not stereotypical hip hop. This is something else. This is something really special. And then I fell for the guy. I ended up listening to everything. Now I love all his albums. I got into Yes, which was hard to get into. That one was more electronic or whatever. And he sampled from so many samples. I'm not going to talk about that. But I got into that, and then Black on Blonde, and Exit. Exit. I listened to Exit. There's so many songs I love by Chaos. I could go on and on and on. I've seen him perform live 3 times. He really influenced me. Now let me explain how he influenced me. See, I noticed that hip hop borrows from many genres by sampling. And if hip hop borrows from all these genres, then why can't everything be hip hop? Me listening to Jimi Hendrix, that's hip hop. Me listening to AC/DC, that's hip hop. Me listening to Black Sabbath, that's hip hop. That's just how I see it. It's hip hop. If hip hop is borrowing from these genres, then it's hip hop. It doesn't matter, even if they're not rapping. Hip hop artists still sample these artists. It's hip hop. Right now, there's this whole argument about what's his name, Andre 3000. He did a flute album, and they're like, this isn't hip hop. It is. It's hip hop. Because Lupe Fiasco, from my understanding, he sampled from that flute album that Andre 3000 did. Lupe Fiasco sampled from that album, the flute album, and that shows you that it can be hip hop. A flute album can be hip hop. Maybe you might disagree. To you, it might be boom bappy. That's hip hop, or bumping in the whip. But I'm telling you right now, a flute album is hip hop. Okay. So, like I said, as long as hip hop continues to sample and borrow from other genres, then anything can be hip hop. The day hip hop becomes more original and they stop borrowing from other genres, that will be the day that now you can argue that no, anything can be hip hop. You can say anything can't be hip hop. You can say, if it's, I don't know how to say this. Let me just pause there, okay? I'm getting lost in my thoughts. All right. All I'm saying is this: if hip hop becomes original and people sample less, then hip hop will own itself, and then we can argue that okay, other genres can't be hip hop. I hope that makes sense now. I tried to explain myself in a way that makes sense. Okay, let's see here now. Yeah, it's because of chaos that I now believe that everything is hip hop because hip hop samples or borrows from other genres. Chaos borrows from many genres. Okay. Now, Tom York of Radiohead, he's another guy I like. He doesn't scream much when he sings and performs rock. His voice is soft and non-threatening. But Radiohead is still rock music. You understand? Tom York changed everything with his vocals. Okay? I hope he's watching this. Tom York, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a big fan of yours. I love what you did. I mean, I read in one interview that you said you don't like the fact that you sound very non-threatening and very soft, and I think your vocals are great. I wish I could sound like you. You have like a what? 3-4 octave range? 4. Let me correct myself. 4 octave range. Tom York has a 4 octave range, and I'm busy suffering with my 2 octave range. But yo, Tom York. But yeah, so he changed rock too with the way he sings. It's not threatening. It's not. He sounds non-threatening. He sounds non-threatening, man. Okay, let's move on. But yeah, like I said, Radiohead is still rock music. Depeche Mode have made sentimental love songs, and they made it okay for me to continue writing love songs. Yes, when I heard Depeche Mode, some of their more sentimental songs, love songs, I was like, yo, I like this. Now, as a man, some people might say you shouldn't like that because men aren't supposed to be overly, whatever, sensitive or whatever, or sentimental. But I actually like that stuff because I write that stuff myself. And yeah, so Depeche Mode, that was my recent influence. Okay, so let's see here. I've said all of that to say this. I'd rather be original than sound like my influences. The world doesn't need another Chaos, Beatles, Radiohead, or Depeche Mode. The world needs originality. The world needs whatever makes me unique from my influences. I even go as far to avoid making songs that sound. Let me repeat that. I even go as far to avoid making songs that sound similar. Yes, this is true. When I make music, I don't like making something that I've done before or that sounds very similar to something that I've done before. I avoid that, at all costs. I try to avoid that. So one thing about my music is you're never going to hear something that sounds very similar. So if people want to hear, oh, why don't you do another Does Love Exist? Or, oh, why don't you do another? Well, even I've made part 2s and 3s to songs, but they don't sound the same. Like I made a Sunlight Part 2, which I haven't released yet, but I will release soon. It doesn't sound like the Sunlight 1. It sounds like something else. I never recreate the same sound ever again. You will never hear that from me. I can't do it. Okay, so let's see here. Where was I? Yeah. So even in the way that I dress is influenced by Chaos, the Beatles, as well as Radiohead. Yes. The Beatles wore suits. I wore a suit for my Donegal. Not a suit. I wore a sports jacket for my Donegal video. And then Chaos, he mixes clothes together. I've seen him wearing a poncho. He does everything. He wears everything. You know, he really stands out. He's quite unique with his fashion sense. And let's see here. Where was I? Where was I? Where was I? Sometimes I dress urban. Yes, I wear snapbacks. Let's see here. And sometimes I don't shave. Radiohead, those guys, when you see them in their photos, they haven't shaved. You know, that's their style. You know, that's their style. Even Liam Gallagher made fun of them. Okay, so let's see here. So all of that is my style. All of that is my style. I sometimes I shave, sometimes I don't shave. Sometimes, you know, I wear urban clothing. Sometimes I wear a suit jacket, sports coat, whatever you want to call it. You know, I just mix it up. I like to mix it up. Like right now, I'm on this raw phase. You can see me. I haven't shaved. I'm Father Christmas, man. The Black Father Christmas. Respect me. Okay, let's see here. Otherwise, I'll give you all a lump of coal for Christmas. Respect me. Okay. I'm just being silly. Sorry. Okay, let's see here. Um, the Beatles were originally rockers. They wore leather, smoked, and drank alcohol. They would also swear in public. Brian Epstein cleaned up their image. Yes, the Beatles weren't always wearing suits and stuff like that. They were rockers. They wore leather, they smoked, they drank alcohol, and they would swear in public. You know? But Brian Epstein, he cleaned all of that up. R.I.P. to Brian Epstein. You know? He helped the Beatles catapult by changing their image and everything. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, vocal coaches. When I've met vocal coaches, they've asked me who I like to sound like, and I'm against that. I told them, look, man, um, I want to sound original. I want my own unique voice. Um, I don't want to sound like someone else, like a celebrity. I don't want to sound like a musician that already exists. But there's this one guy online I found the other day. The guy sounds just like Neo. And I was so mind blown by this. I was like, this guy sounds like Neo. Why would you want to do that, man? Like, if okay, the only way you're gonna blow up somehow is if Neo passes away. Then fans will want to hear Neo's voice again. You'd be like a tribute artist or tribute band. I don't know what you call it. But besides that, why would you want to sound like somebody else, man? You know, you're not gonna blow up. Why would they allow you to exist in the same space as someone who's already succeeded with that sound? You should be original. Now, I don't know. I was looking for a musician to be a part of my next album, and I was thinking, should I hire this guy? But he sounds like Neo. I can't hire this guy. He sounds exactly like Neo. What am I gonna get out of that, man? No. So I said I can't hire this guy, man. So I think originality can take you far. You know, people want something new, something fresh, not something that's been done before. Even the Michael Jackson clones and the Elvis clones and John Lennon clones, Beatles tribute bands. I could never go to those things, man. In hip hop, you have Action Bronson. They say he sounds like Ghostface Killer. I don't know how true that is, but yo, I can't listen to anything that sounds similar to something else. Even The Weeknd. The Weeknd, he kind of sometimes like he did Dirty Diana. He kind of sounded like Michael Jackson. I've listened to his stuff now, but before I didn't want to listen to The Weeknd because I was like, yo, this guy sounds like Michael. Anyhow, I'm gonna start some Canadian beef mentioning that, but whatever. I don't I have nothing against the Weeknd. I like The Weeknd. Okay. Of course. What's it? Ooh, I'm blinded by the light, na 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 na, till I feel your touch. However the song goes, I don't know how it goes, man. I'm not a big fan of his, but I do like his music, some of it. Okay. Okay, let's see here. So, yeah, the guy sounded like Neo, man. Anyhow, so that's the end of my rant. You do what you want. If you want to sound like your favorite artist, because initially I remember I told one vocal coach that I wanted to sound like Chaos, But Chaos has so many sounds and styles, it's hard to copy him, man. You know? So, but now at this age and at this point in my career, I just want to be original and I just want to bring something that hasn't been brought to the table before. Okay? So you do what you want. If you want to sound like your favorite artist, you do that. But be prepared to be ignored. Because I even know in hip hop, Jim Jones of the Diplomats, he had a guy named No, part of his gang called Bird Gang, and No sounded like Jay-Z. The guy's nowhere to be heard from, you know. No one know. I don't know what happened to the guy. I liked him because he was more street than Jay-Z, but he sounded like Jay-Z. That was the insane thing. And I think Jim Jones did that to kind of throw shots at Jay-Z. They're always throwing shots at Jay-Z. I think Jim Jones did that, but the No guy never went anywhere, you know. And since then, Jim Jones has reinvented Bird Gang, and No isn't there anymore. But I liked him, you know. So I mean, the artists like Shine, you know, Shine. They say he sound like Biggie. Gorilla Black. They say he sound like Biggie. You know, there's a whole bunch of copycat guys that have been allowed to breathe the same air as the original. You know, but I think that's wrong. You know, you should be original. You know, Action Bronson. They say he sounds like Ghostface, kind of, and Ghostface got mad at one point and checked Action Bronson. That was hectic. But I mean, you know, it's like someone told me the other day, these people can't help themselves if they sound like someone else. I even had someone tell me I once sounded like Michael when I sang Dance. Not the dance on the album, but the dance with just my little recorder. You know studio mics, they pick up so much sound. Every detail, studio mics pick up every detail, but I was just using this recorder. And in the recorder, when I pressed play, I sounded like Mike. But I don't want to sound like Mike. I want to sound like myself. So yeah, you won't catch me uploading that, you know, because someone said I sound like Mike. Anyhow, that's a compliment though. I understand it's a compliment, but it's also a slap in the face. Like, who wants to live in someone else's shadow, you know? So the guy who sounded like Neo, please, yo, you don't want to live in Neo's shadow, okay? You don't want to live in Neo's shadow. Be original. Do what you want though. If you want to do that, do that. But people are gonna compare you to Neo, you know, because you sounded like him. But to my, people listening to this video, please think about it. Would you rather be original or sound like someone else? You know, because I was reading about the not copyright, the copycat trap. It says don't get caught up in that. The article I read said don't get caught up in that. Be original. Create your own voice, your own sound, your own style. Dress your own way. Be original. That's how you stand out in the industry. Now, if you're busy copying someone else, like, why should anyone pay attention to you, man? It's very competitive out here. So that's just my jewel that I'm dropping. If you want to stand out in the industry, you got to be original, and you have to do anything that makes you stands out. That's what you have to do. You know. That's just what you have to do. So anyway, I'm done talking. This is the end of the rant. I'm sorry for taking too much of your time. Be on the lookout for my next video. I should also mention that my next music video, I'm going to be diving into gender-based violence. That's a heavy topic for me to take up, but you know, I appreciate Samantha Moche's efforts in talking about gender-based violence, and I just want to follow her footsteps and try to shed some light with my music video on gender-based violence, and especially gender-based violence as men experience gender-based violence. Okay, for men, I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman, and I think it'll be disrespectful to talk for women when I don't know what it's like to be a woman going through that. But as a man who went through a toxic relationship, you know, I wasn't beat up or anything, but I was emotionally abused. I can speak on that kind of thing because I was in a toxic relationship. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video, you know, and that's all I have to say for now. So hopefully next time you won't see this beard. We don't know. We'll see. That's all I have to say for now. Sorry for making this a long rant. Okay? I'm sorry. But you know, as I say, peace and love. Okay? You all take care, and I hope you have a good festive season. I will see you again in 7 days. Goodbye. Salute from Mannie Motsoela.